Hello, everyone. Hello again. If you've joined us before, it's now the 2:30 session, and we're talking about luxury travel. I have two colleagues with me that are eager to talk to you about luxury travel. We're going to ask a few. We're going to answer a few questions, and let's see. We have first one. We have Elise with us.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Elise. And we also have Chip Barker.
Hello.
Perfect. Um, okay, so I'm going to wait for a second to make sure that everything, yes, yeah, we have some people. Hi, Sherry, Amanda, Red. Hi, everyone. So I wanted to, I had a lot of questions. A lot of people were talking. I saw tons of people are saying, talking about chargebacks, people that lost their jobs, people that have issues. And I wanted to talk about luxury travel and to figure out if luxury travel is maybe different and to see if you guys, um, what's going on. I would like each and every one of you to just talk about your business. How long have you been in the business? What's your specialty? And let's start with Chip and take it from there.
Hi, everybody. My name's Chip Barker. My company is Oceans and Lands Custom Travel Planners. I've been in the business since about 2012, and I'm based in the Tampa, Florida area. Um, I've always just kind of gravitated towards upscale, or what I kind of call aspirational travel, which is clients who, maybe they've been cruising mainstream for a while, but they're just looking for that next step up, or that little bit better service, better food, better experience, and helping to kind of ease them into a new price point and a new experience point. So that's what I enjoy doing.
Perfect. And Elise?
So, Elise Newman, I'm in the Houston, Texas area. I've been in the travel business for about 20 years. And like Chip, I also just tend to gravitate toward luxury travel. And what luxury travel means to me and to my clients is more a level of service. They're interested in having someone take care of everything for them, whether it be a transfer from the airport to the hotel, or some people even want an escort at an airport from one gate to another. So really people that are looking for a high level of service, mostly independent travel, but also group travel. And if it's a group, it definitely has to be a smaller group with upscale accommodations and really terrific guides. So that's really what I focus on.
For me, it seems that luxury travel, we deal with a lot of families. So sometimes luxury travel for us would mean, going to beaches, going to Sandals, Atlantis. So it could be a place that has thousands and thousands of room. So it's not necessarily a small group, but they do spend a lot, and they are looking for that personal relationship and attention to details. So I think luxury might mean different to other people. So it is important that you realize what is your target market, and if you are going for the luxury, realize what luxury actually means to you and what you are looking for. I actually met both Elise and Chip on a Uniworld cruise, river cruise last year. We've met. I've met Chip before, but at least I think that was the first time that we've met. And
Yeah.
Uniworld to me is considered luxury when you're talking about river cruises. Um, so it was. It's actually funny that we're meeting right now here and talking about luxury travel. Do you find that today are people more, I don't know, in the luxury market? Do you see people are still looking? People are still booking. Do they have the funds? Is that even an issue with today's market? Chip, do you want to?
Yeah, my luxury people, when they have had their plans have to be changed, like some Uniworld sailings had to be postponed for them. They're ready to get going right now. They don't want to put the trip off. Similar to Elise. I have some clients that are a little bit older in age, so they're really quite focused on achieving all of their travel goals and getting them knocked out before they get any older. And actually rescheduling them has been a little bit difficult because they have so many trips already staggered out, and they're not willing to give those trips up if they can help it. So we're really having to kind of work around when we can fit them in. They're not wanting to sit on their credits for long. They're looking at open dates to go. Um, sure, everybody is mindful of money, but when you're in this segment, I think it's less of a concern for sure than someone who has, focused on paycheck to paycheck to get by. A lot of these folks really don't have that as an issue, so they're ready to go.
I would also assume that some of these credits are substantial. So it's not that they're sitting on a 2,000, 4,000 vacation. I have a family going to Grand Velas, supposed to go tomorrow, I think, and they're sitting on a $27,000 booking of hotel only at the Grand Velas. And that's, that could still be an issue to even a person who has secured, let's say, money, and he's not stressed for money. $27,000 is a lot of money to now have tied up to a supplier.
Yeah.
Elise, are you finding any problems, issues with the credits and with what's going on right now?
Oh, a little bit. It's starting to come out a little bit. Like Chip said, and like you said as well, money isn't the primary issue, but with large credits, it is a problem. Like I have one safari where they upgraded all of their rooms and they ended up being very, very expensive bookings. And it's not going to be easy necessarily to use that credit, to use an entire credit in the time that's allotted for it. They do have other trips planned. And so, I'm just aware of how we're going to be able to place that credit and not waste any of the money. And truthfully, maybe I'm more worried about it than they are. They haven't really said anything about that aspect of it, but it's just something that's weighing heavily on me. I've got some other cruise clients who had very nice suites with celebrity, and I'm starting to look at things for the future for them. But the cruises next year, quite honestly, are more expensive than what they paid for this time. And I haven't spoken with them about having to put additional money into it. That it could be an issue whether they have the money or not. Nobody wants to spend more than they did already just to be able to utilize that credit. So that's an issue that I'm anticipating, and that will happen really at any price level.
Right. On regular, let's say a regular days when it's not, corona and people are actually calling and booking, what is, I would say, like the number one supplier? Do you have something or a destination, something in particular that you like to sell or your clients like to go to, Elise?
Yeah, I do. My number one supplier is definitely Abercrombie and Kent. I use them all the time. Fantastic service, both for me and for my clients. I rarely have any complaints from anybody. They really enjoy the trips. Abercrombie and Kent will travel for their small group journeys, even if there's only 2 people on the trip. So, for example, I had one group of 5 who were traveling to China a couple of years ago on a trip that maxed out at 18. And there was only one other person on the trip. So it ended up being a group of 6 that got along very well. My group of 5 and this other. And then they made plans to travel again on other Abercrombie and Kent trips. So I find that my A&K clients are really dedicated and just continue to book. And if they've gone on 3 of them, they become a Marco Polo member and get 5% off. And also, if you're a single traveler on A&K, part of the Marco Polo benefit is to get 50% off the single supplement. So my single clients who like luxury travel really appreciate that.
Okay. And Chip, what do you find that you sell the most in the luxury segment?
Lately, it has been Uniworld for me. So I've got a lot of Uniworld that's going on right now. And in addition to Uniworld and river cruising in general, a lot of African safaris. And going back to what Elise was just saying about, rebooking and going on for next year and such, one of the things we're finding in African travel and safaris in general is space availability. A lot of these people, they want to take their trip, and so we're running into there's no room at the lodges on certain dates. So clients are having to be flexible if they want to use their credits and look at alternative dates and even sometimes more expensive dates than they were originally looking at. Space is an issue.
Okay. So I would assume with that market, people might think, I take sometimes I do a lot of air, and when we do business class, people think, if I pay business class, then I might get a spot. But think about it on the plane, there's not a lot of seats for business and first class. So it's pretty much the same for luxury. The luxury and the small properties, the small hotels, there's not a lot of inventory. If you don't book it in advance, it's not a question of price, it's a question of availability. You might be willing to pay more, you might have more money, but if it's not available, it's not available. Yes, Elise.
For sure. I definitely find that my luxury clients are especially particular about what they want. What they want is what they want, and they're just not really willing to deviate from that. And I can't blame them. I mean, it's their money, and that's where they want to go, and that's what they want to do. And so what I have found in certain situations, like I just had 3 Oceania suites cancel. These were $15,000-$20,000 bookings, and the cruise line canceled them. And like some of the others, they offered either 100% refund, or it was either 120 or 125% future cruise credit. And absolutely all of them want the money back, because they don't mind losing that additional premium, but they want it when they want it. And they don't want to have a credit hanging over their head that they feel like they need to use at a certain time. They're particular about when they want to travel and want that flexibility.
Okay. As something that I've always done, but seems to be on the uprise, is private planes. Do you guys do any private planes, private charters? In the last couple of weeks, I had a few requests. We actually booked a few. People want to travel, but if again, when the islands and everything was open, people, for me, it was still going or even coming back. Is that something that you sell?
Just a little. I've only done a few private planes, not in the last year or so.
And no, for me, I have some fancy people, but not that fancy. Although I personally like to be on one.
So going to that, because I wanted to get to it. So if I we all know it's really important to know the product, to know what it is that you're selling. But when you're selling luxury travel, I can go and do a ship inspection on Royal or Norwegian, or I can take a fam to Cancun and go and visit some of these properties. But how do I experience, like A and K, for me to experience? We're talking about, a lot of money. What about Uniworld? How did you get into the market? How do you get to try the product and see? Chip?
Well, just kind of thinking back of when I first started getting into river cruising, I was actually working on a small group for my parents' 50th anniversary. And I was actually working with scenic river cruises, which I also love in addition to Uniworld. And I just started kind of building a relationship with my BDM at the time. And we talked a lot, and they got to know me and know that I was serious and produced in the industry. And as I started making a few bookings with them, and then they were willing to invite me on an industry fam where the entire ship was just industry. So I got to go and actually experience the product while I'm promoting the product already on an existing group. And that really helped to further sales. So when I had first started doing the group, I thought, I'll be very lucky if I get 5 cabins that qualify as the group. And by the time we were done with it, it was 28 or 30 cabins. So that experience and being able to talk about it and publicize it and use social media and just tell friends and such about it, it really helped to grow that. But suppliers today, they're not looking just for anybody that walks in the door and says, hey, let me come on, your high-end experience for free or for very little money. They're actually looking to see that you are working in that segment and you're producing, and that you're willing to put the effort forward to really push their product, not just looking for a great getaway for yourself.
It is a great getaway.
Yeah.
Elise, how about you?
100% the same as Chip. I had a couple of clients who came to me who had traveled with A&K, and it really just developed from there. Like even the group that I told you all about a moment ago with the group of 5, that sixth person has now become my client also, just from recommendation of the rest of the group. And there's just a lot of loyal travelers. And so an opportunity came open for me last year to go to India with A&K. And even though we've got 3 kids at home and it's not easy to get out, I felt that it was very important for me to take the trip, not just because I knew it would be a great trip, but I have so many clients that go with them that I really wanted to be able to experience the product myself. And the destination of India was really amazing. But having been on that trip, I was invited to go on the trip because they knew that I was a producer and knew that I would continue to be a producer. And frankly, the way I met you all on Uniworld, our sales rep for Uniworld knew from speaking with others at the agency that we're associated with that I have upscale clients and sell luxury travel. And so even though I hadn't sold Uniworld before, they knew that I had the clients who would potentially be interested. And since then, I have sold Uniworld because I was able to experience it. And it's definitely much easier to sell something that personally.
Yeah, I would say if you personally are selling luxury travel, but not that specific segment. So if you're selling land and you want to go into river cruises or the other way around, suppliers might be willing. I mean, if you show them the numbers, if you show them that you can actually sell and there's a potential, they will give you that chance to come aboard. Utilize your host if you're under a host and you're a top producer. Again, you can be just selling a specific brand that is not considered luxury, but if your numbers are high and you think that you might be able to convert some of them, if you're selling Norwegian and you're selling the Haven, or you're selling MSC and you're selling the Yacht Club, you might be able to convert some of these people. And just remember that a lot of people, if you're doing romance and honeymoons, for example, what we talked about, some people will like to splurge and do unique trips, a certain anniversary. A regular client that is not necessarily a luxury client, from time to time will have a memorable vacation that they want to create, and they don't be afraid to suggest it and maybe get a foot in the door for that market. Same with Elise. Uniworld was the first time that I've been. I've never sold Uniworld before, and of course, I was invited to the FAM, and I was able to experience the product and then sell it. Chip, on the other way, I don't know if you sold Uniworld before, but I think you had clients on that FAM as well. So once you were invited, you actually brought some people with you, right?
Yeah, I told them they were interested to try it. They were past river cruise guests on another company, and I did double check with our BDM to make sure she was okay with that, and they were. They're always interested in finding new audience and new customers as well, and they have marketing departments that put the effort forward, and they're going out to the general public trying to attract people. But they know, if they can target us, even if, as you say, you've never sold their product or anything like it before, if they can come to us and we do the selling work for them, they're all for it. And exactly like you say, if you've had Haven people or even folks that are, you've gotten them up from a regular balcony on Celebrity to experience Aqua Class or the entry level suites, if you can show that to suppliers, they will definitely take a look at you, because they want to cultivate those people that are aspirational and move up and go, hey, so you're willing to do this on, a mass ocean line, product. Come over here and try our river product out. So it's not that far of a jump if you're leading your clients in that direction already.
Okay.
I would guess, are a lot of your readers, viewers, are they actually in luxury already, or are they looking to get into it?
I think everyone wants to kind of get into the luxury market because of the profitability, we'll call it. When you sell a 5,000, 2,000, or a 10, 20, of course, we all know that luxury travel has their own issues and problems. It might not be price, but even someone who spends $20,000, $50,000 is still price conscious at a certain point. It's not, they won't be willing to pay anything. So I think it's a market that a lot of people want to get in, maybe have some troubles going into, and want to know how other people have started with this. You guys don't sell a lot of all inclusives, right? Or you do?
Very little.
Very little, because we had a question. Amanda is asking, what's your favorite luxury all inclusive brand? I think Amanda is one of my recent Facebook friends, and I think she has a birthday today. So if you have, so happy birthday. But I do more mass market. We'll call it higher end. It's not at the level of these guys that sell luxury, but when you sell, let's say the Grand Velas vacation that I've mentioned before, it was a $27,000 for 8 nights stay. Ultimately, it is a luxury product in that segment, in an all-inclusive segment. There are not a lot of high end um, luxury, and luxury could mean a lot of things to a lot of people, whether it's food, exclusivity, the type of people that come. So to me, it's beaches in the higher categories with the butler service. It's Atlantis, the Cove, the suites with the meal packages, Grand Velas, Grand Fiesta Americana. But these are, again, different type of luxury, which again can be quite lucrative as well. Let me see if we have any more questions. Um, yeah, that's an interesting question. Do you have a specific supplier that you like to work with? Let's say mostly on, I mean, we heard about A&K and we heard about Uniworld. Do you have like a tour operator or a company that helps you set up your FIT bookings? Who do you normally use?
There's two that I use. One is Kensington Tours. I use them regularly. I've used them recently for Greece and Italy. I've also used GoWay. I've got a family of 5 booking a very expensive South Pacific French Polynesia package, and GoWay has been really terrific to work with. There's also a smaller company in New Jersey that I use called Trading Places, and they're also a company that will cater to very specific individual needs.
Okay. And Chip?
Very similar to Elise. I've had good success with GoWay as well for upscale group and also FIT. And then I've actually had really good relationship with Avanti and good service from them. So I use them a lot for European destinations and have started using them for Central and South America as well.
Okay. I find for myself, for my custom FIT, when I have some luxury travel and they want custom, I will normally try and price things on my own and build it on my own. I guess to me, if I can control each and every segment of that, um, again, to me, I like to be in control when I'm dealing with such a higher end client, so I won't have any issues later.
Right.
Okay.
For
Yes.
cruises, I was going to tell you for upscale cruises, I have a handful of clients that are really loyal to Ponant, a small French upscale cruise line that has very unique destinations. These clients that I have gone to the Cape Verde Islands and the Seychelles and really interesting places. And Ponant has small ships, very luxurious, very good food and really good service. And my clients really like that. So that's somewhere that I've looked at because they get to go to very unique destinations that the larger ships can't go to. So that's why I've started looking at Ponant.
And I wanted to ask you guys about marketing on a day-to-day or even right now with the current situation. How do you normally market? How do you find your clients? Elise?
I didn't say anything because I don't really market very much. All of my business is really word of mouth referral. I occasionally will put something out on Facebook, but I'm very active in the community on boards and different associations. So I know a lot of people that way, but I generally don't advertise. So really just occasional Facebook posts is the best I can manage.
And the vast majority of me is social media. I have done some magazine and events and things like that where I've partnered with the magazine to help bring additional bodies into the room for the events, and have found good success doing that, as it was, you know, a targeted audience. But a lot of it is just social media. And when it comes to social media, I never lead with price. I don't do, here's a big sale, come check this out. It's always experience and just promoting a lifestyle and a feeling, really. I never, ever, ever lead with price or deal of the day type situations at all. I think, in fact, I think it's a turnoff for the upscale folk looking for 50 off. Granted, they would like to get the deal, but you're not going to lure the high end segment because it's on special. They're going to go when they want to go and do it the way that they want to do it. So it's really best to just, you know, kind of put it out there, just conveying the lifestyle of something that would be attractive to them. And also, you know, your personal travel experiences, things you post about, when you're talking about trying to attract the upscale division or that type of client, it really helps for you to experience it yourself, like we talked about with the big things on river cruises and such. But in addition to that, it can be something as simple as find yourself a great agent rate at your nearest Ritz-Carlton or Four Seasons and go for 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights, whatever, you know, you can swing and get away for. Take the photos, post pictures in social media and tell about your experience. Once you start doing that and conveying that to your friends and your followers on your social media pages, they'll see that, you know, you're walking the walk as well as, you know, just doing the talk and telling them about it. You're out there and you're experiencing it. And it really is attractive for them to see that you have gone and done it and, you know, you become an authority on it. So even if it's just a small experience that you can go and do and then talk about it, that is definitely something that will help build your business in that area. And honestly, the people that you meet at the hotels often become your clients as well. There's something to be said for showing up to happy hour at a fancy hotel. You never know what you're going to come away with as a new client.
And I remember, Chip, I don't know if you want to share, but I remember you did an event for Uniworld, right? Promoting river cruises, promoting Uniworld. Based on what I saw on social media, I was impressed, and you had a lot of turnout. Do you mind sharing some of what was going on?
No, not at all. In fact, it goes back a little bit to what I was talking about where I was partnering with a local magazine. In our particular area, I live in a master plan community and there's 1,000+ houses or so. And there's quite a segment of, I would say, income levels within the community. There's homes from $250,000 to multi-million-dollars, and they're all together. So it's quite broad. But there's a local company that publishes a magazine for the neighborhood that's kind of resident driven. Residents write the stories and it's interest pieces about, you know, meet your new neighbors or your neighbors went on vacation here or there. And so I did some advertising with them and I started writing the the monthly travel article for the publication, which was great because it got my name out there. And as part of that relationship, they will co-host events with you, 1 or 2 times a year. And I decided to do that. And the advertising pieces that I paid for in the magazine were Uniworld and African Travel. And I focused steadily on those each month. And so we did 2 events really, one for African Travel and then one from Uniworld. And, you've got your target audience there. They're kind of in the demographic that you're looking for. And I wanted to host a nice event. And so, we had a great space to host it in. And I paid for catering and had the suppliers come and do a nice presentation. I did have to come off a little bit of money, and you sit there and worry a bit, oh, am I going to make this back or not? Fortunately, it was successful, and I made it back. And from those events, I actually picked up clients that I had no idea who they were. They were not on my radar. They came because of their association to that magazine, and then they have booked and booked and booked and booked and booked. And they booked both Uniworld and African Travel. So I definitely would call that a win.
Wonderful. Sounds great. And do you have a few planned for next year, or you had something planned for this year until,
You mean another group?
another event like that? It seems like it was successful and was worth the investment.
I don't have one on the books right now, but it's definitely something I will do again.
Okay. How did you reach out to the magazine? Is there just the magazine that you normally read? Did they approach you?
They came into the area, and in fact, it would probably be worth looking into for agents in other areas as well. It's a national publishing company called N2, just the letter N and 2 Publishing, and I think they're headquartered in North Carolina, but it's a franchise opportunity. So this lady that's here locally, she's actually in another neighborhood from mine, but she has the franchise for this local area. So she runs, my neighborhood is called Mira Bay, and so she runs the Mira Bay magazine, and she lives in a neighborhood called, and she runs the Waterset magazine and some other neighborhoods within, the Tampa Bay area. So they're really targeted to specific, communities. And I think they're all over the country. And it's reasonable pricing for, being able to put an ad in and have a relationship. And they usually have their own Facebook pages that all the readers of the magazine are on. And as an advertiser, you get to be on that Facebook page and, promote yourself on there as well. So it's another great way to get in front of people that you may not necessarily be in front of on a daily basis.
Interesting. It seems like maybe if in your local market, if you have something like that, something to consider, something to think about. Do you guys attend any luxury conferences? Any specific training? Did you guys have anything that you did in the past few years?
Not in the past few years. I've been in a safari club in Las Vegas once, a long time ago, but haven't been to anything in a lot of years.
No specific trade events with multiple vendors or anything like that. Just, fam experiences.
Okay. I know some of I attended, I think it was called the luxury travel. It's there is a luxury travel magazine, and they also do an event. Normally it's a local event. It was one time it was in Florida, another time it was in um it's part of the travel exchange. I can find the information. They also have the wellness summit as well. So they try and cater and get some training regarding that market. There is a luxury travel normally in Mexico, in the Mayacoba area. It's once a year. There's one in Cannes and like Nice. So there are a few conferences. Most of them, if you can prove your numbers, most of them are fully hosted. So you won't even have to pay for your own air and accommodation. Lots of suppliers, lots of agents to network with and to get into that specific market. I found that it was beneficial. even if you had to just pay the air to get to. Some of these conferences might be a good way to meet up with suppliers that you don't normally see. Let me see if we have any more questions. Um, Bill said that he attended Vegas several times for the luxury show. I think Virtuoso has an event there as well. Um, I think it's key, and you need to figure out what luxury means to you. It can be domestic. There's some amazing hotels like in Florida, Palm Beach area, West Palm. There are what is it? The Breakers. There's so many hotels that are high end, and some of us just don't sell domestic travel. But there's some products that you need to be aware of to sell. I think it's an interesting market and a way to get into it. Um, um,
Roy,
yes.
I wanted to mention something about Royal Caribbean. Most people don't think of Royal Caribbean as luxury travel, but I also have a group of clients that have really started enjoying their Royal Suite class with Royal Caribbean. So it's not always a separate luxury supplier, but like you all touched upon earlier, the Haven with NCL and Yacht Club with MSC. Royal Caribbean also has an equivalent, and they have Royal Suite class, and the very top of that class is called Star Class, and it's totally luxurious. I've actually done it myself, and you have a genie that takes care of you the entire time. You're in a separate dining room, and really everything is included. So some people want the familiar destination and even the familiar brand. They don't want to travel too far or don't want to go overseas. Like you said, Roy, there's some great hotels in the United States. And Royal Caribbean is one of those cruise lines that you can sail on from New Jersey or Florida. And one of the ships with Star Class is coming to Galveston the end of next year. So I think of Royal Caribbean as a domestic brand, but there is a level of luxury that's available. And so that's another thing that can be promoted to people, and they just love it. I mean, it's really a great product.
I agree. I've had the pleasure to sell the family suite, which only has one of them. They have only have one of them. I think on Symphony and Harmony, right? There's only one.
Villa, yes.
The family villa with the slides. There's
Oh,
like
that's the ultimate family suite. That's
ultimate family suite, and that room actually doesn't have a room number. And when you walk through and you see it, they have a red carpet leading into the room. The door is in a different color. My
yes.
clients were they loved it so much when they charged some stuff to their room and they ask, "Oh, what's your room number?" It's like, no, we're at the ultimate family. Like they don't even have a room number. So
Right.
again, different type of luxury, but definitely I agree. There are some products you don't have to go far. You don't have to go and start selling safari travel in terms of luxury. Florida, Scottsdale area, California. We have some amazing, Colorado. There are a lot of luxury properties in the U.S. If you have people that are afraid to leave the country right now, they're worried, maybe they are kind of local, you could still sell luxury travel, maybe adjust a little bit to sell domestic, but you could still go towards the luxury. Um, Let me see. Yes, Cherry says star class bookings on Royal are like $25,000 to $30,000. A few dude ranch, glamping experience. Yeah, you can get it. Stuff can get expensive, and I would definitely consider them luxury. Um, Amanda mentioned the New York Travel Expo. I wouldn't call. First of all, the Jarvis Center right now is a field hospital, so I don't know how fast I would go to the New York at the Times Expo Center again. But I find that it's more towards geared towards consumers and less. There is a day that is more travel supplier, travel trade oriented. I don't know if I would consider that conference for luxury, or even something that is quite beneficial, again, to my opinion, for that. Um, let's see. Um, Bill said, let me try and get it on the screen. Yeah, it's kind of long, so we can. um, Bill says that one thing that he found was that his luxury clients, they still want to feel that they're getting value, and most of his are referrals from, I guess, from previous clients and from other agents as well, because the agents only wanted to sell one thing, and a client wanted something else. I have a person in my team that specializes in luxury travel. So when there is something that I feel that I can't provide that level of service because I'm busy, because I'm doing a destination wedding, because I'm stuck with spring break with 50 rooms, and that specific person needs more attention, I will probably prefer to send them to another agent that can give them the one-on-one that they need, um, because the potential or the agreement that you can reach with the agents or an agent that is working with you, it just makes more sense. The clients that are paying a lot of money they normally demand service, and they want your attention right now or else. They do have the Centurion Platinum credit cards that they have their own concierge, um, and they can kind of deal without you if they can warn, but they want to go with the experts. They have people, they're used to paying for service, they're used to getting what they want when they flash some money around. So you got to make sure that you keep these clients. They're quite hard to get. I know that they refer their friends. Sometimes they'll go with another family, maybe larger families. It can be quite lucrative business, but you gotta hold them really tight and make sure that you don't let them go, because they very demanding, right, Chip?
Yeah. I'll be honest. I have a few that are that way. My upscale and luxury clients, they are some of the least demanding clients that I have. I I don't know. Maybe I'm just lucky.
I think you are. I have some that when I call, well, after the call, I would be like, curled up in a fetal position for the next 10
Oh,
minutes
I have a
because
couple.
but then okay, $20,000 commission, $20,000 commission. It's just, I had one client like that, and then her husband at the end tells me on a different call, she loves you so much, she talks about you all the time, and I'm like, oh my god, if this is for a person she loves, then uh, you know, because it's just again, sometimes people can be rough, and I've heard situations about the clients that are booking the cheap vacation, the cheap cruise, the 399. They can be quite difficult as well sometimes. So of course, it doesn't really mean that all luxury travelers are behaving that way. Um, yeah. Okay. Anything you guys want to add and share regarding how you're dealing with everything? What are your thoughts and prayers about our industry?
Most of my clients are a little older. I think I may have mentioned this in my introduction. They're just nervous. They're nervous about traveling. Many of them are in their upper 60s, 70s, even 80s, and they just want to hold off. They're just nervous about going anywhere, and we're just kind of playing it by ear. I still have some trips outstanding for the summer, and of course, the clients are wondering what's going to happen for their June, July, August trips, and it's just too early to tell. But my clients in general are just saying that they don't want to take a risk. They'll look at traveling later on, and for the most part just are not really rescheduling. I just got an inquiry this afternoon for one of my clients who wants to travel back to Italy in October, and there was a whole host of questions. If I can't go, how long will I have to use the ticket? Will I be able to get my money back? Are there any insurers that will cover this? There's just a lot of questions. So people, I'm sure my clients are no different than anybody else's in this regard. They're just very nervous. They want to make sure when they start traveling again that they understand what they're getting into, and what will happen if their trips are canceled. And of course, we don't know those answers. We can give advice based on the track history of suppliers and how they've dealt with cancellations in the past, but we don't know if they'll change those plans or handle cancellations any differently. So, mine are skittish, hopeful that they'll travel again. I mean, I'm sure most people will, but it's going to be a challenge getting people who are older or maybe part of the riskier group for COVID-19, people that are immunocompromised or something like that. They're just, for the most part, my folks are a little anxious.
You should book the genie and ask for something good for us.
That's right.
Chip, how are you dealing? What do you see with your clientele? New bookings, requests?
Yeah, I do have new bookings and requests that are coming in. I have one lady, she was ready to book a suite on Royal Caribbean for next month, and I have been trying to push her off just a little bit because I'm definitely concerned about next month. But they're still chomping at the bit to go. So I think as soon as things start opening up, I'll be busy getting these folks rebooked. Most of them have already started shifting their plans. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I had a group of about 50 or 60 for Yacht Club on MSC that got canceled, and they asked me to just go ahead and get new group space approved. They want to get everything shifted over, so that's in process now. So I've had very few that are just like, we're going to hang back and wait and see. If they are waiting back, they're waiting like 30 days to see how things progress, and then they want to see if they can feel more comfortable about making a call to go ahead and get something on the books.
Okay. And before we finalize, do you mind sharing? Do you recall like one of your top best vacation that you planned, either money or destination or something unique that you've done for your clients?
Boy, that's hard to come up with off the top of my head. So, yeah. I don't know. When you do unique things every day, it's hard to think what's unique because it's just stuff you do every day.
Okay. It's a good comeback.
So thanks.
Elise, do you recall anything?
Well, I can answer the most expensive trips easier than the most unique. I mean, unique destinations, I've had people travel to Mongolia. I've had trips to Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, just because people want to check it off of their bucket list. But, the most expensive trips, $100,000 or so, probably South Pacific. I've got a family that's booking their second trip like that.
Yeah, there are some amazing products out there that we are not aware of. I think I booked a private island once, and that was about $42,000 a night. And last year I did a big destination wedding and we did a buyout at the property, and that was in the almost seven digits sale. So there's some amazing opportunities out there, and people need professionals, especially after this, especially after something like this. If you shined, if you helped, if you assisted your clients in getting home, people will talk about you, and hopefully will come back and maybe realize that life is short, and maybe they want to travel and spend a little more and get away from this cabin fever that everyone's is having. I know I can't wait to get away. Okay, so it seems like we've answered all the questions. I wanted to really thank you guys for coming on board to showering and makeup and hair. I know it's it's a good excuse to come on live. So hopefully I'll get to use you guys again in the future. Thank you for helping us answering the questions and helping helping each other. That's the whole point of this group. So thank you, everyone. And tomorrow we have another session that I will post online as well. That's it. See you guys tomorrow.